Hello friends, welcome again to your own YouTube channel Ask Your Gynecologist. I am Dr. Sonal Parihar, and as usual I am back with a new video, and of course the topic is being selected by you, requested by you all. Okay, I just want to tell you that this channel is purposely made for you, for people who are non-medicos, who do not understand the language of doctors. So I have made it very easy with the help of diagrams, with the help of photographs, and I try and use minimum medical language so that you can understand. And all these topics you must have noticed who are connected with me for the last 5 months. I have always tried and make videos on the topics requested by you all. If at all I get a request of some topic which I think is out of my field of interest because I'm a gynecologist, or if I think that particular topic is very small and we do not need a video, I just quickly answer to that person. So please stay connected, keep inboxing me, keep asking your queries. I go live every day, I try and answer your questions, and if you ask me, if you request me for a video, here it is. Okay, and if you really want a direct consultation with me, even people living abroad, like outside India, they can easily download this application on their mobile using the Play Store. That is DocWise app, and it is just like WhatsApp. You just have to put my PIN, that's my PIN number, and then you can directly connect with me. You can send your reports. I can always call you through the app if you want. Then you can just inbox me, ma'am, please call me. You can always send me a voice message. Okay, if at all you're having problems, like especially people who are having iPhones, sometimes it is difficult. I think some people are having problem in downloading this app because iOS does not probably show this app. So you can always get technical support from Shubham. He's the person who deals with the app. You can call my secretary. You can give me a call on the landline if you are in India. In my hospital, that's my hospital reception number, that's my hospital's address. So here it is, I am back again with the new video, and today's topic is short cervix. What does short cervix mean? Well, cervix is the mouth of the uterus, right? So basically short cervix means it is shorter than the normal length. Now, why is this topic so important? Why are we making a video on that? Because when the cervix is short, it is of significance when you are pregnant, and this particular cervix will be measured every now and then whenever you get a scan and ultrasound during your pregnancy. Because if it is short, then it makes you prone towards miscarriage and preterm labor. Okay, so what is the normal length of a cervix? Normal length, it can vary from 3.5 to 4.5 to 5 centimeter depending upon a patient, right? Everybody has a different length of uterus and cervix, so it varies from patient to patient. Now we are worried of because if the short cervix is there, then obviously you are prone towards preterm labor and miscarriage. So what happens when you get pregnant? When you get pregnant, initially the cervix is of the same length, whatever it can be 3.5, it can be 4. So when you get an early scan at around 5 to 6 weeks, that time the doctor will measure the actual length of the cervix, which is your actual length. Okay. Now, as the pregnancy progresses, the cervix starts swelling up. Why it swells up? Because that is the natural mechanism how the uterus tries to save the baby inside. It tries to make a mucus plug, because you know there are many glands inside the cervix and the vagina which keep that particular area moist, and they have a peculiar mucus secretion gland. So this particular gland, the cervix swells up and it makes a mucus plug so that it can protect the baby inside the womb from the outside atmosphere. And then there is amniotic fluid which grows, right? And there is this amniotic membrane. So just outside the amniotic membrane, the cervix swells up and there is a thick mucus plug. Okay, so this is what happens to the cervix. So initially in the ultrasound, you will see the cervix has swollen up, but the doctor will not say that it is short. As the pregnancy progresses, especially when you reach, say, in the 3rd trimester after 7th, 8th month, generally in a normal patient, towards the end of 9th month, this particular cervix, right, it will start getting used up in the uterus. Now, what does that mean? Imagine a balloon, okay? When you have a balloon and you try to fill air in it through your mouth, you have the mouth of the balloon very big, and you can easily pull it and put it in your mouth and blow, right? Now, you must have seen when you start blowing, as the balloon starts expanding, the mouth of the cervix, the mouth of the balloon starts shortening. So at that particular time, when it is actually swollen up, you find it very difficult to hold it near your mouth because the length of the mouth of the balloon is very short. Similarly, this happens in the uterus. The uterus you can imagine as a balloon, and the mouth of the uterus is the cervix. Okay, so the pressure from the balloon, that is from the uterus, as it increases, especially in the 9th month, towards the end of the 9th month, this cervix, which is like a tube, which is around 3.5 to 4.5 centimeter, it starts getting used up in the uterus. So this is called effacing or shortening. right? Or ripening of the cervix, means it is getting prepared to deliver. So there are two os. One is the internal os, above which the uterus is there, and this is the external os. So this is open in the vagina. As soon as this opens up, the baby comes out. Okay, so this doesn't open up so quickly. It is this particular cervix which was like this initially, now it started opening up. So when you actually measure the length of the cervix, so it is this particular length that we are measuring. So initially it was this much, but now because it has opened up, so only we get this much length. So this is how it happens when you go towards the end of the 9th month, and this is when the cervical effacement, the shortening of the cervix takes place because of the pressure from above. That means the patient is going into labor, that the pains are coming and the cervix is now opening up. It's dilating. Not dilating, sorry, effacing. Dilatation is different. Dilatation means the external os is opening up. Okay, so that is different. We are not going to discuss that. External os, when it starts dilating, then your doctor will tell you, your midwife will tell you while examining you, okay, your 1 finger loose, your 2 finger loose, your 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter. That is different. We are just talking about the effacement. When this os is closed, you are not dilated. It's just the effacement. Okay, so in a normal patient who has a normal uterus and a cervix, this particular cervix is very strong for the 9 months, and it starts effacing only and only when you go into labor, right? When you start having pains. Some patients, some women will have a very weak cervix, which is called insufficient cervix or incompetent cervix. Now, if you have seen my video, why abortions occur again and again, in that particular video, I have told that this is one of the causes of second trimester miscarriages when the cervix is incompetent. Insufficient means it cannot sustain the pressure of the uterus. So as soon as the patient goes in the second trimester, 4th, 5th or 6th month, that is when the amniotic fluid starts swelling up and the pressure starts increasing. It suddenly opens up, and once it's open, it just kind of gushes the baby out. Okay, so this particular thing can happen in a patient who has had, say, a person who has had many miscarriages. The cervix, the mouth of the uterus is damaged, or if she has had many terminations, because when we terminate a pregnancy surgically, we use instruments. So every time, whenever we use an instrument, the cervix, the mouth of the cervix, the mouth of the uterus gets damaged, and it decreases the tensile strength of that particular cervix. So it makes you more prone towards miscarriages and preterm labor. Okay, so these are certain conditions. Then cervical incompetence can be simply congenital. It can be a congenital weakness, that the cervix is congenitally weak and it just opens up as soon as the pressure increases, right? So these are certain reasons why this can happen. What are the symptoms you can get? Symptoms are very much like you're going into labor. Okay, it might not be very painful, because incompetent cervix means the pressure increases and it suddenly pops out, right? It suddenly opens up. So many a times patients do come with a complaint that I didn't even realize I was lying down or I was sitting in the public. I just had this vague feeling of something coming out, some little bit of pressure in the back on the lower abdomen, and suddenly popped out, or suddenly my waters break. This is a typical history of incompetent cervix, right? Plus another symptom that might indicate that you are dilating or you're kind of effacing, that the cervix is shortening, is excessive watery discharge. Not exactly you like you break your waters, because when you break your waters, the membranes break and lots of fluid gushes out. It is like the cervix is opening up, it's shortening, so whatever mucus plug was there, it is getting dislodged, and some mucus has started leaking out. This is what happens towards the end of the 9th month, when you start dilating, actually, when you actually start going into labor. For the last 10-15 days, you will have this complaint that I'm passing a lot of mucus, watery secretions. That is because your cervix is preparing to open up. So this is what happens when your cervix starts opening up, even in the 2nd trimester or in the 3rd trimester. This is an indication that you are going towards labor, that it is a condition in which you have to immediately go to the doctor. Now, what will the doctor say? See, if your finding was, say, in the 2nd trimester, or even in the 1st trimester, we knew that you had a short cervix and it is your first child, doctor might just tell you to be careful. He might just highlight the finding, short cervix, and tell you what are the complications where that can happen. The doctor might not give you any treatment, because this is your first pregnancy and you do not have a bad history of miscarriage or preterm labor, right? If it is very short, say it is 1.5 or 2 centimeter, then the ideal time to put a stitch, that is a cervical circlage stitch, a McDonald stitch, is the second trimester. As soon as you finish your third month and you enter the fourth month, that is the best time to do a cerclage, because at that time the pressure has not increased, cervix is still in the same length, and second trimester abortions, like inducing an abortion with the surgery, is very less. Inducing an abortion in the first trimester when the baby is already at risk, it's very small. At that time we do not intend to do any surgery. So there are two kinds of stitches we can put, like McDonald stitch or Shirodkar stitch. What we do is the tube, the cervical tube, we just put a stitch around it, just like you close a purse. It's like a purse string suture. Okay, so it's a single stitch, and then we just remove it in the 9th month. Generally removal is done at 36 weeks, because at that time we conclude that after 36 weeks you can go into labor anytime. Okay, we do not want your uterus to rupture, because if you start dilating or if you start having pains at home and you're not able to reach hospital on time, with this particular strong stitch closing the cervix, the baby will move out from anywhere. It will just rupture and break your uterus, and that is life threatening. Okay, we do not want that. So that is why we remove the pain, we remove the suture at 36 weeks. And if at all you are at high risk or you're already having pain and we think that we cannot stop the pain with medicine, then we have to remove the suture, because we do not want you to rupture your uterus, and sometimes even the uterus is lost. We have to sometimes remove it surgically if it is that bad. Okay, so that is one particular treatment that we can offer. The other particular treatment can be use of progesterone hormone, which I have already discussed many times. Progesterone is a hormone which can be taken orally, it can be taken vaginally in the form of tablets or capsules, it can also be taken as an injection. So any patient who has had a bad history, previous history of miscarriage or preterm, and the ultrasound finding shows a short cervix, the doctor will put you on a vaginal progesterone, and it will help to prevent miscarriages and preterm labors, right? So these are the different modalities, and of course bed rest, avoiding intercourse, and then avoid heavy weight lifting. These are the kind of modalities of treatment that the doctor will tell you. You just need to know why short cervix is so important, why it has been highlighted in the ultrasound report, and why the doctor is telling you that please take care, and what are the kind of treatments that the doctor gives you. So now that after listening to the video, you'll understand why the doctor is so worried about it, right? So I think this is all for today. We do not need to go into the details of dilatation and everything. You can always follow me on my different channels, Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and do download the app, DocWise app. It is a wonderful app. You will definitely like it. And what else? Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep inboxing. I'll be going live very soon. So every evening I try to go live and answer all your questions. So keep liking the video and keep telling your queries in the inbox channel, right? Okay, take care, bye-bye.